all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Jillian, joined by my co-host and official movie watcher, Scout, and today we will be discussing the new prophecy, Book 5, Twilight. Scout, how's the movie watching going? I'm so happy.
It's the thing it's going, which is a change. I have known person who has a hard time watching movies, Scout, podcast host, has recently watched at least 2 movies.
Yeah.
I watched Nimona a couple weeks ago for the first time. It was really good. I really liked it. And then I watched it again the next weekend because I wanted to watch it with my parents because both of them had heard of it and they both really enjoyed it, which was great. And then the next day we watched Fall Guy, which was really good.
My dad has been recommending Fall Guy to me.
I had a great time with it. I would recommend,
Okay.
It turns out movie's good. It turns out movie's good. Yeah, we watched last weekend. My dear friend Jules was in town, and on Sunday, I finally got her and my husband, because I had introduced them earlier on a different vacation. I had them watch the first 3 John Wick movies. And they were obsessed. And then I bought the 4th John Wick movie for Christmas from Santa for me and my husband. And I was like, we gotta wait until Julia comes to visit though, because we want to watch it all together. And man, what a fucking flick. That's such a good ass movie. I gotta watch a John Wick. I've never watched a John Wick, but it feels important to do.
It's really good. Like, it's, the first one you go into it thinking, oh, this is just gonna be like just a violence fest. But the character of John Wick is so compelling to me.
I love that.
I am obsessed with him.
Looking at him.
My hot take is I think the 4th movie is, number 1, just a fantastic movie. And number 2, like, the perfect ending. Like, I am someone who usually gets, very disappointed with, endings for series or what have you. Like, very, very rarely do I come across something that I'm like, yeah, perfect. Yeah,
that was a really good ending. It's hard to nail an ending.
It's hard. Like, I am somebody who exclusively writes, short fics because I'm not good at endings.
I don't want to think about it.
Just let me write, 1,000 words that are just this scene. Don't make me come up with any sort of resolution. Just let me give you the emotion.
I'm so afraid of the resolution.
Yeah. But, I think that is one of the best executed conclusions to a series that I've ever seen.
That's great. That's high praise. I love this. They did take a lot of inspiration from other things that I thought had really good endings, so... Hey, there you go.
What happens, happens. I'm really glad that you've been getting back into movies, though. I'm really happy.
Me too. It's been a long time.
It has. And, I know we've watched a couple movies together.
Yes.
Over Discord and stuff, and I always really love showing you movies. I think it's just a fun experience to watch a movie with you. So.
Aw, thank you. That makes me very happy. I always love a movie once I'm watching it. I'm always like, have you heard about these things called movies?
The talkies? Have you heard of them?
Have you heard of those things? They had a train and it felt like it was gonna drive right into me. Did you know about that? But it's just like the barreling towards making the decision to watch a movie. I also,
for sure.
Oh, it was just a little bit too late in the day for me to be like, I'm committing to watching this. But I almost watched Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron the other day, and I still haven't seen that. And so that's probably going to be the next.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron.
Oh my God, we gotta get you, me, and Crow on a Discord call, and we gotta watch Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron together, because Oh my god. I literally had a dream about that movie the other night.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I know just to look at it is to know that I will be obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah. The first fan fiction I ever wrote as a young child who had no idea what fan fiction was, 5 or 6 years old or whatever, however old I was, writing in my journal about Spirit.
Yes!
and his girlfriend. Literally, like...
Yes! I love that. It's so good.
So fucking young. It was great.
I think the first...
Damn.
Well, no, I wrote Warriors fanfic before that, but that was like all original characters. I think the first fanfic that I wrote of somebody else's characters, as in like of established like characters from a piece of media, was Royai, which is not surprising to anybody.
No, it's not.
For the uninitiated, that's Roy Mustang and Riza Hawkeye from the acclaimed manga Full Metal Alchemist, as well as 2 anime adaptations, Full Metal Alchemist from 2003, which is fine and has one of my favorite Roy Riza moments that is not technically canonical to the manga, but is a really good moment. And then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is, I think, maybe a perfect show.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
That I love so much. Anyways, I have been thinking about Roy Mustang and Riza Hawkeye since the age of 13. I am turning 30 in less than a week, and I'm still thinking about them. I will never stop. Speaking of birthdays, happy birthday, Jill. It was just your birthday, too.
Yes, my birthday just passed. I am now dirty 30. Not to dox myself, but yes, I'm another year older, as they say. But that actually segues into how the praise running, because I just want to give a little praise and also criticism of my birthday dinner.
Oh, tell us how the prey is running.
We went to Hibachi for my birthday because your boy loves a hibachi restaurant.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's good. And this place, like, we went 2 years ago for my birthday, and it was incredible. Like, maybe some of the best hibachi I'd ever had. We went this time. The steak, still top tier. Like, maybe some of the best steak I've ever had. That's a lie. I've had really good steaks before. But, like, definitely top tier steak. They didn't put eggs in the fried rice. And instead they put green onions in there.
Oh. Like a lot of green onions?
Yeah, like a lot of green onions.
Huh.
And, like... We didn't have an onion volcano. We did not have any, like, egg tricks.
No egg tricks?
The pizzazz was not there.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know. Yeah, so it was, the rice was fine, but, like, I'm not an onion person, so, like, it was a lot of onion to deal with, and I was like, I'm not eating all of this.
Yeah, like, I tend to like a little bit of green onion in my fried rice, but not, and I'm a certified onion enjoyer, but even I know when too much onion is too much onion.
Well, and it wasn't like there were no carrots, there were no peas. It was rice and onion.
Oh,
and
yeah.
soy sauce. I was like, this is not correct.
I don't think that's quite fried rice.
No,
I suppose it
at the most basic level,
it was rice that was fried.
Yeah. So I was really disappointed because I was like looking forward to, having like a fun show and hanging out and enjoying some food, and part of my dinner just wasn't it.
Damn.
But it's okay because the steak was really good.
The economy is hitting even the hibachi restaurants.
It's true.
Even the hibachi chefs have burnout.
I know.
Oh, God. Well, that's too bad, but I'm glad that you did have at least some nice steak.
Yeah, it was a really good birthday dinner. And then that was over the weekend. And on the day of my actual birthday, my lovely husband came home early from work and surprised me with some tiramisu.
Oh,
which was really lovely.
That is lovely.
For those who do not know, tiramisu is my favorite dessert, and it was just a nice day. So I had a really good birthday this year.
Yay, that's awesome. I'm so glad.
And I hope that you have a really good birthday because we have very close birthdays to each other.
This is like the parade of birthdays that from like middle of May into middle of June, I feel like is so many
of our friends' birthdays and then also our birthdays.
We have a lot of Geminis.
We do
like a
have a
surprising
lot.
amount of Geminis.
There's so many Geminis in our friend groups. It is kind of silly.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing too is like I joined a new roleplay group recently, and like 5 of the people in there also had birthdays like within the past 2 weeks.
Damn.
So it's like absolutely filthy with Geminis over there.
Damn.
My cat's a Gemini. Like
My dog is a Gemini, but only like by my choice because we unfortunately don't know what her birthday exactly, so we just celebrate it with my birthday. So she is at least an honorary Gemini.
hell yeah, all Zelda's is Gemini.
All Zelda's is Gemini. Wow, much to think about.
Much to think about. I don't really have a ton of like Warriors news. We did get, I believe you messaged me earlier, there's some new preview images for the new graphic novels.
Yes! Oh, they're so cute. I love it's very cartoony, the graphic novel, but it like really works for me. It's very fun.
I actually only saw a quick look of the one that you...
Yeah, if you go to my favorite place, warriorsofficialart.tumblr.com, if you just go to like their front page, they've got a bunch of these little previews that are very good.
Sweet. I'm also on the like Warrior Cats website.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love this one of them all at the Moonstone, and they're like whoosh, like anime whooshing back kind of
Yes.
vibe. It's so funny.
Oh, there's one, it's just like a little preview of Firepaw, Ravenpaw, and Greypaw all running together, but they're just cute, and they're in the rain. It's been clipped out of like the scene where they're taking Ravenpaw to the barn.
Oh, the yellow thing. My God. She is so large. I love her.
She is so round. Broken Star is also extremely a unit.
Yeah. Barley is so cute. He's got like a little mustache.
I love Barley's mustache. I love how he has sort of this almost kind of fluting on all of his markings, so they kind of look feathery.
Yeah.
They're really cute.
Adorable. Well, we got some good covers, of course.
Oh yeah, got some good covers.
The first one that I wanted to point out is the simplified Chinese cover.
Very dynamic.
Which has a very dynamic badger fight.
Yeah, it's very good, even though the perspective on the squirrel fight is very
the
silly.
perspective on squirrel fight, when you blow it up big, it does not look...
Where her body go?
Yeah, her body doesn't look like it's there.
But generally, really cool.
Yeah, I really like the cat. I guess that's probably soot fur, right? On the bottom there?
On the
maybe?
bottom, or is it Ashfur? And this is from the earlier badger fight.
Ashfur. It could be Ashfur.
But there is another badger back there, so maybe this is soot fur.
Yeah, there's a cat underneath the badger, and it's very cool.
Yeah, really cool dynamic stuff going on.
Once again, Polish covers.
No misses. Can't miss in Poland.
Some beautiful silhouettes of 2 cats crossing the tree bridge. We've got a gorgeous crow feather portrait in the background.
Oh my god, the most handsomest crow feather in the world.
And like he's got like this red like setting sun
the red
over
light
his chest,
is so good.
which also like is like right over his heart too, and just I feel like that's a really symbolic choice of color. I think it's beautiful. I want all of this art like
I know
everywhere.
I want it hung up in my house. Like
I know.
All of the ones for this series, for the new Prophecy specifically, have been working so strongly in limited color palettes.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really impressive, and it's really hard to make such a limited palette also feel very, like, naturalistic and realistic, and they do a great job.
I agree.
Shout out to
absolutely
those artists in Poland. I can't remember if these are all done by the same artist or if they are,
I believe they are.
Different.
I believe it is the same artist doing all of the Polish covers. Johis Art on Twitter, JOHIS Art. They are a Finnish illustrator, and they've done work for the Smithsonian as well.
Wow.
Oh my god, they have this gorgeous red 13.
Holy shit, this rules. I just hit that like the same time. Oh, my man's red 13. Wow, he looks amazing.
Yeah, wow. They do some incredible work.
Extremely good. Johanna or Johis. Yeah, amazing. You do such good work. Love your work so much.
If you're out there, we love you.
Joey's art, if you're out there.
Would die for you.
Hell yeah.
Man, their art is so cool.
It's so good. Oh, they also have pictures of their cat with wearing his fur as a hat.
Oh, good. And then the original cover painting, I really like this one as well. I think this is probably why I have such a stronger idea of what the Lake ThunderClan camp looks like in comparison to the ThunderClan camp back in the forest.
Yeah.
I love how you can barely, if you look on the cover, you can barely see the badgers in the corner there.
Peeking, yeah. It's overlaid so that it's right next to Aaron Hunter too. So I love that the badger is just peeking. I
love the cats.
I love getting to see all of them. Look at them.
It's so cute.
Apparently Vicky thinks that the rocks look like intestines, and I think that's wild.
I can see it.
I can kind of see it,
but also that's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What an idea.
I also there's great color stuff going on with this cover when you also have the crowfeather portrait overlaid on it. Just those bright blues with all of the warm oranges of this stone quarry that the cats live in. I love it. The only thing that would make this better is if the cats really matched up to any specific cats in the book. Yeah. They feel a little bit like just generic cats versus being actual ThunderClan cats. I know that we don't have a tuxedo or piebald black and white cat in ThunderClan.
Yeah, I do think that one up in the top right corner, that could be Sorreltail, because she's a tortie.
Yes. That could be Sorreltail.
But yeah, that is the one upsetting thing. I do remember when I was a kid and I was learning how to draw cats, I would trace the cats off of this cover specifically to practice.
I love that.
Just because there were several different poses I could use.
Yeah, there's a lot of really dynamic poses. There's the one on the back that's peeking is very cute to me. That's sort of lifting up and doing the I'm standing on a thing that's tall and I'm trying to see over top of it.
I love it.
The little gray one looks like it's trying to play with this brownish gray one's tail.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's good stuff.
Good stuff. Well, should we get into the summary?
Yes. Paint us a word picture for this book. I will.
All right. In Leaf-Fall, apprentice Swanpaw leaves her mother's clan in order to live with her father's clan, Rain Clan. While there, she struggles to make friends, but seems to catch the eyes of a mysterious warrior, Fangshine. Other apprentices warn her to stay away, but after Fangshine saves her life from a two-legged monster, she realizes that she's fallen in love with him. Her new friend Wolfpaw seems jealous of this, but Swanpaw's focus is entirely on Fangshine, who seems ready to reveal to her his mysterious secret.
Now, wait a minute.
I don't know about you, that's the book I read for this week.
I really do want Stephenie Meyer's Twilight, but cats now, though. I think that would be fun.
Would they be vampire and werewolf cats, is the question.
Oh my god, a werewolf cat is incredible. Cats are always biting you. So you could easily adapt that into desire for blood or need for blood.
Yeah, desire for blood.
They already have a desire for blood.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as someone with a cat who likes to use her teeth. Yes, apologies, listeners. Let's get to the real summary now.
In the prologue, a cat is seen speaking to StarClan, who tells them that the cat's time with the clans is coming to an end. Though saddened, this cat accepts that they are going to die soon, and that they have lived a good life. Squirrelflight and Brambleclaw continue to argue over his friendship with his half-brother Hawkfrost, with Squirrelflight growing more and more concerned that he's becoming too ambitious for his own good. Meanwhile, Ashfur resolves to spend more time with Squirrelflight, and the two begin to develop a friendship that Squirrelflight thinks could turn into something more. Brambleclaw and Ashfur butt heads over Squirrelflight, who gets more frustrated with Brambleclaw. Hostilities seem to grow between the clans, with a Wind Clan patrol acting strangely hostile after a Thunder Clan patrol asks about One Star getting his leader name. All four clans struggle with chasing badgers and foxes out of their territory. And when Squirrelflight runs into Tawnypelt, she discovers that Shadow Clan is being harassed by a pair of cruel kitty pets. With Thunder Clan's help, Shadow Clan manages to put the cats in their place and ensure they won't harm another clan cat. Daisy, a cat from the horse place, comes to ThunderClan with her 3 newborn kits because she didn't want the Two Legs to take them away. Cloudtail begins to teach her to fight, which makes Brightheart jealous. Leafpool, meanwhile, has a whole bunch of problems. She's continuing her romance with Crowfeather, trying to meet him in secret and figure out a way for the two of them to be together. Her friend Mothwing cannot be reached by StarClan, so Feathertail must send Leafpool a message that RiverClan is in danger. A warning which later comes true when a trio of RiverClan kits play around in spilled two-leg waste and poison much of the clan. Leafpool ends up staying for a night in RiverClan to help Mothwing with all the sick cats. As if that weren't enough stress, Leafpool also accidentally stumbles into one of Brambleclaw and Hawkfrost's Dark Forest meetings with their father, furthering her suspicion of the two. As Brightheart channels her jealous energy into helping Cinderpelt, Leafpool begins to question whether or not she has a place in the clan anymore. One night, she and Crowfeather resolve to run away together. However, on their journey away from the clans, they run into Midnight, who warns them that the Badgers have joined together to attack the clans. The pair debate if they should return, but eventually decide that their loyalty to their clans is more important. They return to ThunderClan, where the camp is already under attack, and Leafpool's friend Sorreltail is in the midst of giving birth. During the fight, Midnight arrives with Wind Clan warriors to help drive the Badgers out for good, and Cinderpelt dies protecting Sorreltail from a badger that had tried to get into the nursery. As the cats begin to assess the state of things, 2 familiar faces reappear at the edge of camp. Stormfur and Brooke.
Dun, dun,
Well. Well.
Look how the turntables.
So, let's just get some basic, just general vibe check on the book.
Much like the last one that we read, this isn't my favorite one ever, but it's also not the one I've had the least fun reading.
Yeah.
At about the 65-page point, I had already reached a state of being like, I'm kind of done with most of this. This is just not that interesting to me. But by the end, I think we get a really good, like, final couple of chapters.
Yeah, I think the weird thing about this one to me is, like, the highs are high in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the rest of it is just kind of like, what are we doing, guys?
The characterization is so rough.
It's so rough.
Ugh.
I think, like, of the characters, funny enough, I think the one with the most consistent characterization is Ashfur.
I know, right? Isn't that awful?
We
Terrible
are on
state of events that we're in.
Yeah, we are on Ashfur watch.
Wee woo, wee woo.
Wee woo. He is up to some shenanigans over here. Literally, chapter 1, we set up that he, like, is definitely super jealous of Brambleclaw getting all of Squirrelflight's attention. And we also set up that, like, Squirrelflight's pissed off at Brambleclaw. So she's going over to Ashfur and she's hanging out with Ashfur a lot more. And he's, like, defending her and stuff like that, sticking up for her.
He does stick up for her, like, a little too much. That's the thing.
I think
that's
even
the
at a point, Squirrelflight's like, I can fight my own battles, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Which I think if giving it might be giving too much credit to the Erins to think that this was them, like, beginning a long game with Ashfur.
Mm-hmm.
If that was their intent to, like, set up that, like, this vibe is just the teeniest bit rancid, then I think that's great.
They were. I think because, like, the thing is, when I read this the first time and, like, this book happened and, like, I was reading the way that they were interacting, I was like, he's being a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was getting the red flags from him, like, day one.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I do think, like, I think it's possible that they were definitely at the very least setting up, like, hey, he may not be doing this for the right reasons.
Right. I'm so curious. I'm excited. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm excited to read arc 3 because I'm not a big fan of the main characters in the third arc, but, like, some of the tangential stuff that happens in arc 3
it's so whack.
Is whack and really good. Like, really fun.
No, I agree 100%.
It's just that, but I have to wade through the bog of...
There's some secondary characters in arc 3 that I literally am obsessed with. I do, unfortunately, as a villain apologist, I do kind of have to stand Ashfur a little bit. Like I said, he does have some of the most consistent characterization.
Yeah.
And he's all about the drama.
He is. He really is about the drama.
Like, he sees that Squirrelflight and Brambleclaw are, like, having an argument, and he moves right the fuck in. And he's like, baby girl, I could treat you so much better than him. And I feel like of all of the love triangle plots that we get, I feel like this one is definitely, like, as much as communication issues are annoying as hell, like, this is definitely one of the better ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
It is definitely one of the ones that is most compelling, not because you ever, like, at no point do you think Squirrelflight and Ashfur are going to end up together.
Right.
But all of the interactions between these three are so fucking messy. It's so good.
They're so messy. And even Sandstorm at one point goes to talk to Squirrelflight and is like, that was almost a problem. And Squirrelflight's like, what? It's not me. And Sandstorm's like, okay, yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Sure, girl.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't have anything to do with like what's happening between these two boys. Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. All right, babe.
Sandstorm's literally like, girl, I've been there. Don't even start with me. Oh my god. I do have to say Brambleclaw was right for one thing, which is when Squirrelflight is like, I'm not stupid. And he's like, no, you're not stupid. You just sometimes you do stupid things. And I'm like, yeah. As much as you're being kind of an ass in this book, Brambleclaw, like, that was real of you.
Yeah,
and also very true.
That's so true.
Squirrelflight, I love you, but girl, you do some stupid shit.
She does some stupid shit sometimes. Did she get stuck under something again in this book?
Yeah, like twice.
Squirrelflight, babe, you gotta stop getting yourself stuck.
No, it was her, and then also Leafpool got stuck under something.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, Squirrelflight getting stuck is somehow like a pattern I did not notice until now, and I'm like, why?
It's so funny.
What's going on with my girl?
let's talk about let's give Brackenfur and Sorreltail a moment. We stan.
Truly, there's like half a page of Brackenfur and Sorreltail after Sorreltail tells Leafpool she's expecting kits, and that half page is better than like 80% of the protagonist romances that we have hit in the series. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. They are so in love.
I love him so much. When she's like, I haven't told him yet. I wanted to be sure, but then he comes and he's like, why don't you come and you can sit?
He's such a dad.
You can sit in the sun and watch the training that I'm doing with Whitepaw. And Leafpool is just like, oh, he's guessed what's happening.
Yeah, he's constantly like, are you okay, Sorreltail? Like, do we need to take a break? Do we need to like, you don't want to expend too much energy. He loves her so much. It's so cute.
He's the guy who would be getting your pads for when you have your period. He would be there. Yeah. He'd be on the phone like, what kind of pads you need?
Do you need overnight? Do you need light flow, heavy flow?
Some of these got wings on them.
Do you want me to pick you up some Midol while I'm out?
You need any chocolate? Like, this is the man. Yeah. He is the man ever. I love him.
He is the man ever. I feel like I've said that before about Brackenfur.
Probably. He's just a good man.
Yeah.
All of his moments through this book are so good. I just love him so much.
I am glad we got Cinderpelt mentioning, or was it Cinderpelt? No, Firestar. Firestar mentioning Yellowfang when talking about Cinderpelt. He's like, oh, she gets more like Cinderpelt, or she gets more like Yellowfang every day. And I'm like, you guys are best friends. I really am kind of like bummed we don't get as much like Cinderpelt and Firestar being best friends, because these two main characters we got going on right here just have so much goddamn drama going on. They don't give a shit about what their dad's doing.
They don't. I wish they did.
These two are just a hot mess. I even put down Squirrelflight got her warrior name being Flight because she flies to conclusions. Like, ooh, girl. Everything, she's like, oh, I know exactly what's going on here. I'm like, girl, you have one piece of information. You do not know what's going on here.
I've connected the two dots. You ain't connected shit. I've connected them. No, girl.
So
much of her, like, just looking at Brambleclaw doing a thing and being like, oh, so this means that he hates my dad and me?
And he's going to kill my father because he got upset that he was not chosen as Birch Kit's mentor.
It's just,
so he's gonna kill my dad and try and take over. Like, bitch,
that's just a wild thing to jump to, a wild conclusion to fly to. You're so right.
He has shown no hostility.
No, he's just grumpy.
Dad.
He's grumpy and sad.
Exactly. Like, and I think even Ashfur mentions this before things start to get like really aggro between them. But somebody mentions like, it's not bad for a cat to have like to want to be the deputy.
Yeah.
Like, especially because, and like, props to Firestar for keeping the flame for his boyfriend. But like, there's no deputy right now in ThunderClan.
Yeah.
There is a power vacuum, and like, Brambleclaw is stepping up and maybe doing a little too much, but
I just think
Firestar's not doing enough.
Yeah, Firestar. Oh, the absence is like so palpable when you're at a gathering and all three of the other clans have their deputies like sitting at the base of the tree.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's rough. And like Firestar has specifically divided the various deputy duties among senior warriors, but still it is like, it's not the same. And we're coming up on like half a year.
Yeah, and we can kind of see that too with the way that like Brambleclaw is basically like assigning a bunch of stuff, is like, Squirrelfly's like, why are you bossing me around? And he's like, I mean, somebody's got to do it. Like,
somebody has to there's, there's things that need to be done.
Yeah, it's wild. It is also wild to me that like in this era, there are so few kits and apprentices in ThunderClan.
It's really, really sparse.
If I remember correctly, in Arc 3,
there are too many kits to keep track of.
That sounds right. I know that also, I mean, when this series started in the first book, now, of course, this was before they knew they were ever going to do 6 books, let alone 90 books or whatever the fuck they've done now. But in the first book of The Prophecies Begin, one of the things Blue Star was really concerned about, and one of the reasons that she recruited Rusty, is because she was like, we don't have enough apprentices right now. And they had like 5.
Yeah. So it's like really wild.
Poor White Paw cannot be doing all of the apprentice duties by herself.
Yeah.
And I love when Birch Paw is finally apprenticed here, and him and White Paw just immediately want to do everything together because they've both been
so
lonely
cute.
because he
They're
was the
so
only
cute.
kid and she was the only apprentice.
Truly, I adore them.
I love them. They're the best.
Okay. Yes, so after Sorreltail has her kits, there are 7 kits in ThunderClan, and then in the next book, or in the next book / couple of novellas and stuff, we get 5 more kits.
Woo!
And then I believe 2 more between arcs.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yes.
Honestly, Brackenfur and Sorreltail single-handedly more
For
than
real.
doubling the number of kits that are in this clan right now.
Yeah.
When they
It's
say Sorreltail had 4 kits, it's like, whoa.
Whoa!
Like, I think not that unusual in a real
God, no.
cat situation, but for these books where usually it's like 2 and maybe 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely
Big litter.
big litter. But yeah, so that is, I just loved seeing a little background of them together because, you know, I think they're cute.
They're cute, and I just love that they have each other, and they've been so lonesome.
Yeah. 1 star's in his flop era.
Ugh.
Speaking of horrible characterization.
This whole thing.
Truly, I cannot wait until we get to the 1-star super edition because I need to know what's going on through this man's mind.
It's miserable. This stuff makes me just like, it's genuinely so depressing to me. Also, 1 Whisker, great name. 1 star, bad name. But yeah, 1 star and Wind Clan are in their flop era. And unfortunately, this is a long flop era. I think this goes on for like maybe 2.5, 3 more arcs that they are
it's a while.
really aggressive and insular, and it sucks. It just sucks.
It's so weird. It is so weird. Especially because, actually, you know what? Now I'm pissed off because the reason Tallstar fucking chose 1 Whisker is because he was like, 1 Whisker will make sure that Wind Clan does not, like, close itself off to all the other clans.
Exactly. Oh, that's why it makes me so mad.
What are we doing?
Like, I can understand if this lasted for just a little while. I can understand it being him trying to, like, express his independence from, you know, the advisement of Firestar because he was leaning on Firestar a lot during the turmoil of being made deputy suddenly and then having to become leader and all of that. Like, I can understand that there was the revolt and everything, and so I can staged an attempted coup. I can understand him wanting to be like, okay, we are, like, I'm independent, I can make decisions, blah, 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 blah. But this is just mean. Like, he just gets mean.
He's just rude.
This has always been one of, like, the most genuinely, like, downer things about this era for me of the books.
I agree. Because there's been such a history between ThunderClan and Wind Clan. Like, hell, even now with knowing Dawn of the Clans, like, there's such a history between ThunderClan and Wind Clan.
Yes! So it just
just a bummer for this era to be what it is.
Mm-hmm. We will see more of that.
Yeah, we'll see more, unfortunately. There's some weird writing in this book, which is something we both pointed out. Leafpool keeps acting like she was there for all of the events of Arc 1.
They really do write it as though she was there.
She's like, yes, I remember when Cloudtail helped Brightheart after the dog attacks. I'm like, girl, you were not even born.
You were not even close to born.
And, like,
you were so not born.
Be like, I see how it is probably a, like...
It's meant to be like she's heard the stories, but she...
Right,
the way that it's written,
she talks about it, it's like, girl, who are you? She... No, you were not there. And, like, they... For whatever reason, they act like the dog attack just happened to Brightheart.
Yeah, they talk about it a lot because they have Daisy and her kids come in and they are not, like, they don't know the history, like Brightheart's history. Right. One of the kids, is it Barry Kit? Barry Kit is such a little Barry bastard. Kit. I don't think it was. I think it was Hazel Kit. That's like, that ugly cat scared me. And I'm like, damn.
It's rough.
That's rough.
But, like, also, kids do just be saying shit like that.
Kids do absolutely just be saying shit like that. And I think she takes it, like, she definitely takes it in stride. But yeah, I don't know. It is weird. There's some weirdness there. Characterization is all over the place with a lot of the characters. I don't know what's going on with Leafpool.
Yeah.
Through, like, this whole book is really...
She's something in this book. I mean, we all know how I feel about Crowfeather and Leafpool, so, like, I'm not gonna rehash that. But, yeah. She annoyed me in this book. I'm so sorry, Leafpool, but, like,
there's
the
so
jealousy of Brightheart when she is the one neglecting her medicine cat duties.
It's bad.
Like, this girl needs some perspective.
It's rough, yeah. I do love, like, the Daisy entering the ring was very exciting for me. I really like Daisy. I think she's an interesting character. She becomes, like, just a very different perspective. I always love to see a different perspective. I like that Cloudtail is, like, really advocating for her to stay in the clan because some people are like, kitty pets, we don't want to have too many kitty pets in the clan. And Cloudtail is like, fucking excuse you. But I do feel so bad for Brightheart because Brightheart thinks that she's losing her man. And it's like, no, you're not losing your man, honey. He's just really passionate about kitty pet rights. But I actually love the arc of Brightheart kind of being not an honorary medicine cat necessarily, but this is a thing that keeps coming up across multiple arcs, that, like, Brightheart in this period of her life gets a lot of information, like, learns a lot about medicine in this world, and that information keeps being helpful throughout, like, the rest of the series, which I think is really cool.
Absolutely.
So I loved to see Daisy come in here. There's a really good Brightheart moment where Brightheart is, like, clearly hurt that Cloudtail is spending a lot of time with Daisy, but she still leans down to Whitepaw and is like, your father is doing the right thing helping these cats. Like, oh.
Yeah. I do like, I forgot to write this down. I do like that we get, we do get a hint of Mothwing's future apprentice.
I love Willow Kit so much.
Yeah.
I love her. I love how excited she is. I generally really enjoyed that sort of little mystery bit of solving the sickness in RiverClan.
Yeah.
I have been thinking ever since you on our last recording described Mothwing being a cat atheist as being like a flat earther kind of a thing. It's just been like it's been bumping around in my head like a pinball in a pinball machine.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? But the thing about flat earthers is that they do exist in real life and they take their flat earth stance very seriously. And so now I've been thinking about it from that perspective of, like, just like believing in something so strongly even when you have evidence against it. And I think that's kind of an interesting way to, like, reframe that whole arc for me versus being like, instead of it being an issue of faith, it's kind of the opposite. It's kind of an issue of opinion.
I can see where you are coming from. I, however, unfortunately come from a family of deeply Republican individuals. So I do not have respect for people who do not take the opinion of those who have studied the thing that they are so confident about
and instead say, no, my opinion is right because I'm right all the time.
And I don't think, this isn't me saying that I have respect for Mothwing's point of view here, though. I'm just saying that I think that it's an interest. I think that that's why I think that Mothwing being an atheist is interesting to me.
Gotcha.
Because it is like an inverse of, it's fascinating to me in the way that flat Earth people, etc., like, and conspiracy theories and people who are so like strongly convinced of their opinions on these things can just keep digging their heels in. Not like you gotta hand it to Mothwing, but like it's not I think when we talked about it last, I was kind of thinking of it from like this is an unrealistic thing. This is an unrealistic thing to happen. And then I was like thinking about how, but I think that the flat Earth movement is an unrealistic thing, but it is happening. So like if it is an unrealistic, it might be unrealistic in my brain, but it is a thing that is still plausible.
For sure. And I'm not saying it's not plausible. I'm just saying I don't find it compelling.
That's very, very fair. I find it slightly compelling.
No, that's perfectly fair. We can have different opinions. That is an interesting point, though. I do hand it to you. Flat Earthers do unfortunately exist.
Sorry to any Flat Earther listeners.
No, I am not sorry. Get your life together.
Read a book, perhaps.
Go watch H Bomber Guy's Flat Earth video and get your life right.
Mm-hmm.
While you're at it, watch the one about vaccines and get your life right.
Please.
There's like some casual sexism in this book that's so fucking weird to me.
It's so weird.
Which like it's all because of these love triangles / jealousy things, but like they really lean a little too hard into it. Like there's moments where they're like, tomcats, she-cats. I'm like, just shut up. Like, there's no need for this.
It's very much just like the cultural imaginary shorthand of that kind of thing, but it's not like compelling or fun or like even relatable or useful or like aiding the storytelling at all.
Yeah. I will say, like, go ahead.
I was just going to say a funny thing that I noticed is that Mothwing in this book, now, this is apparently something that has been fixed in reprints, but I have an earlier edition that I got from the library. Shout out to the library. And in this print, most of the time, Mothwing is described with blue eyes and Crowfeather is described with amber eyes. And it's just fucking cracking me up that it's like they swapped.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's so funny because that just keeps happening.
It just keeps going. And I guess there's a ton of those things that were like wrong throughout this entire arc that were wrong and then got fixed in reprints, which is very funny to me.
Yeah. I did notice that when I was looking at the errors, it was all like, this was fixed in a later reprint. And like, I have not seen that on any of the other mistakes sections.
I know, right? Like, why did they only do it for later? The prophecy and not for any of the other things?
It's so funny. Wild times.
We did also get the title drop, Meet Me by the Island at Twilight. I was like, hey, he said the thing. Shout out to Crowfeather saying the thing. But yeah, you had another thing? I think I cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. I cut you off. I think the last thing I want to talk about is the badger attack. So if there's anything else that you have.
Let's see. I wanted to point out that this is just something I was thinking about. There's a lot of technically good writing around Leafpool and Crowfeather's relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, in a vacuum, I would really love all of the stuff that's going on there.
Yeah.
But it just feels so empty because it just came on so suddenly and
out of nowhere.
Strongly.
Like, they had never really interacted, I think is what I mentioned before. And like, if they had interacted previously, I think it would be compelling. I think it would be a very interesting and like really good romantic arc.
Yeah. Because I love a
forbidden romance.
I love a forbidden romance across clans, and I think that we will get one in a couple of arcs that is a lot better.
Nice. Stoked.
Yeah, but this is just It's just it's a bummer because like I would be eating this shit up if it felt like a more genuine connection had ever been made.
Yeah.
I have a note here that's just Cinderpelt with the sobbing emoji.
Y'all. I'm so fucking sad.
I'm so sad. Let's talk about the badger fight.
The badger fight, I think, was a really excellent, like, plot moment, set piece. I think it was, like, not necessarily a plot twist, because the hints are there that, like, the clans are all struggling with these foxes and badgers. But, like, that is the last thing you expect, is all of the badgers to say, fuck this, we're gonna go and, like, declare war.
Yeah. It's fun. Like, it's fun and good, and, like, we're back in, like, melodrama land, you know? It's this, like, high...
Oh my god, the fight is so good.
The fight is
like,
great.
oh my gosh, who's gonna live? Who's gonna die? Sorreltail's giving birth while this is all happening.
Giving birth in the middle of this huge badger fight set piece is just truly an all-timer. Like, that is
really is
good piece of writing. That is so fun.
Moments.
Really, like, one of the highlights of this whole arc.
I 100% agree. I think it is such a moment.
And like, I love there's like environmental storytelling that gets done here with like the utilizing of the secret exit out of ThunderClan's camp that like we learn about when Leafpool figures it out, and then bringing back also the drawback of that I believe was a fear that Brambleclaw brought to the table last book. I know somebody brought it up last book, of the fact that there is only one real point of egress and ingress
right
into and out of ThunderClan's quarry camp, is like comes back to haunt them here when it's like, now we can't get out because there's fucking badgers in the way and we only have the one way out. Like, we are stuck in here.
For sure.
So that coming back was really good. Just all of like the frenetic passing of information between, you know, cats. Like the back, it's very snappy, like all of the dialogue, all of the like getting cats out, getting cats in, the reinforcements coming, stuff like that was really fun.
And I think it was really good too, because for so much of this book, Leafpool and Squirrelflight have been like on completely different like plot lines.
Totally.
And so now they're finally like brought back together, and it's like you can see like both perspectives of the fight, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I want to say things about the kits, but I don't feel like we should.
Yeah, we're gonna get I don't remember if it happens immediately in the next book. This book sort of ends very quickly, and like I believe, if I remember right, it just runs into Sunset. Basically, Sunset picks up exactly where this one left off. But yeah, there's stuff like there's so much. I have so many emotions about Cinderpelt, but I can't fully express them yet because the spoilers for more things that happen related to and like circling around Cinderpelt. So for now, I just go, ah.
Exactly. Me too. Man, fucking love Cinderpelt. She was a real one.
I love Cinderpelt so much. After I finished this book last night, I went on YouTube and watched some Cinderpelt AMVs and made myself so emo about it that I had to go then watch like other AMVs that get me hype to bring my mood back up, because I was just like so in my feelings about Cinderpelt.
Oh. Baby.
I just care her so much.
Me too.
Hey, you ever think about how her and Brackenfur are siblings? Because the book doesn't talk about it, so sometimes I forget, but
it's
Brackenfur's...
so weird sometimes how they, like, completely ignore brother-sister ties.
Yeah, for books that make such a big fucking deal about your blood relations, they don't often make those connections for, like, the tertiary protagonists. Mm-hmm. But thinking about how Brackenfur's sister saved his wife from being killed by a badger while she is she is delivering their children is just big emo to me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I agree. You want to take us to the Erin Corner?
Yeah, just a pretty short Erin Corner this time, I think. But speaking of Cinderpelt, the title of Twilight for this book refers to Cinderpelt's life drawing to an end, which makes me big emo again.
Yeah.
And Vicky has said that while writing the prologue of Twilight, it was the most emotional she had ever been while thinking about warriors, which is, yeah.
She's real for that.
She's so real for that. Oh, Cinderpelt. And like I said this earlier about a ton of incorrect eye and coat colors that were fixed in the reprint. There's so many. There's just so many. Twilight is also one of Kate Carey's favorite books to read. Oh, as a reminder, Cherith Baldry wrote this book. Everything outside of Dawn for this arc is Cherith, until we get into the manga and novellas and stuff, but the main books. I also was looking through in a Hunter chat, and I ran into this question that somebody asked, which is, it seems that Brambleclaw has fallen out with Squirrelflight. Is she just using Ashfur, and will she go back to Brambleclaw someday? And I'm just reading this like, is she just using Ashfur? Okay, Ashfur ghost wrote this question.
For real. Like, oh my God.
And even the Erin's response is like, I don't think Squirrelflight would use any cat. What are you talking about? That's
she's got too much orange in her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's not conscious. It's not any conscious manipulation. She's just a little bit dense.
Yeah. Hey, like we said, she's not stupid. She just makes some stupid decisions.
That's honestly how I play my D&D characters.
Me too.
It's a good way. You know, sometimes you're smart, but when you're smart, you're still stupid.
Sometimes you're really stupid. You know what? That's my whole fucking life.
It's so real. You know, not enough people are talking about this.
Yeah. I agree.
That's it. That's my little Erin Corner. Take us out for sharing tongues now.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton for sharing tongues, unfortunately, because as we have mentioned, this book shares a name with another very popular young adult novel.
Oh, it had to be
therefore,
just miserable.
It's impossible to find anything. I did search Cinderpelt on Tumblr, and that did remind me about the Blue Star Ashfur Crowfeather Cinderpelt Challenge.
I had never heard of this before. I love this.
It went around for a little bit, I think, mostly on Twitter. Somebody had posted, like, a sketch of a gray cat with blue eyes, and was like, me when I see a Warriors fan art of a cat with gray fur and blue eyes, and I have to make a split-second decision if it's Blue Star Ashfur, Crowfeather, or Cinderpelt. So the challenge was like, hey, draw all 4 of these cats and make them distinct so that we could, like, see what your style is, kind of thing. It was a fun there's a lot of really good designs on there.
That scratches the itch of my character designer brain for sure.
Yeah.
Ashfur is an easy one because he has little speckles.
Yeah.
Not enough people talk about this.
Okay, Ashfur.
Not enough people talk about Ashfur, said Ashfur.
Somebody did say blue eyes and pronouns as the comment
I love
on
that.
one of these,
that's so
which
funny.
I thought was hilarious. The other thing I saw on there was somebody said Mandy Moore is their voice headcanon for Sorreltail. I just think that's really cute.
Yeah.
And they specifically called out Mandy Moore's voice acting as Rapunzel in Tangled.
Such
for that reason.
Yeah. And you wrote that you're now thinking about Flynn Rider, Rapunzel, Bracken Sorrel, and I think this activated me like it was my Winter Soldier word. Now I'm just going to be thinking about this.
Yeah. There is a PMV I linked. I did not watch it because I know it's probably got some stuff for later arcs. But I just thought the title was interesting. It is You Used to Be Nice.
Hell yeah.
Firestar and One Star. And then because Twilight was everywhere when I was trying to search, and I tried to search Warriors Twilight. Right? Well, I did get somebody's fan edit of the movie Twilight set to Warriors by Imagine Dragons in the search results.
Incredible.
You know.
There was one that I also saw way back when. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's to Nonstop from Hamilton, and kind of
nice.
About Firestar and One Star, and it kind of goes.
Okay, hell yeah, slay. And then AO3 didn't really have much either. I don't think this is necessarily a book a lot of people have like strong opinions on, honestly.
That's fair, because I came out of it being like the last couple of chapters really were good, and I barely remember the rest of it.
Yeah.
I just read it and it's leaving my brain already.
AO3 found 9 fixed tags specifically for this book.
Leafpool Crowfeather has 167 fics.
That's a pretty substantial number.
Ashfur and Squirrelflight have 58. Shout out to AO3 user Catherine, who wrote 3 or 4 of the 9 fics tagged for this as Leafpool Mothwing ship fic.
Good.
You're
Shout
really
out
out
to Catherine.
here doing the Lord's work.
Shout out to
Thank
Catherine.
you, Catherine. And then Cinderpelt has 264 fics.
I love her.
I love her too. But yeah, there's not really much on the fandom side for this one. So I say we go ahead and talk about our Warrior Cat of the Week.
Yeah, tell me about your cat of the week.
Well, I don't think it's going to come as any surprise that my cat of the week is Cinderpelt.
Hey, guess what?
Is your Cinderpelt?
Mine is Cinderpelt.
Yeah.
I
don't think it could be anyone else in this book,
you
honestly.
can't choose anybody else in this book. Like, even
she's perfect.
all of the scene, even like without the huge emotional scene of her death at the end, but she has so many good little small introspective moments that sort of happen almost outside of like the viewpoint of your POV characters, like barely. The characters aren't absorbing that Cinderpelt knows throughout this whole book that she is like going to die. But we can see it because we saw the prologue, which I think is a really clever use of the prologue also. Like, shout out to that.
Shout out to the prologue.
Shout out to
that
using...
That was such a good prologue.
Shout out to using a prologue as like a really solid narrative device to give the reader information that your POV characters don't have.
We love dramatic irony in this house.
We love dramatic irony. I'm a Columbo girly, okay?
That's so true.
This is Columbo to me.
And as we all know, I unfortunately adore a character who's doomed by the narrative. And how can you be more doomed by the narrative than to know that you are going to die, to have accepted that you are going to die, but not knowing how? I did just recently tweet on my personal Twitter because I started rewatching Lost, and I did tweet something a few weeks ago that was just talking about I love a character who's doomed by the narrative, and I was originally talking about Lost, but like it could be any fucking character.
Anybody
honestly.
Doomed by the narrative, you know?
Anyone doomed by the narrative. And Cinderpelt, oh, my poor girl.
And Cinderpelt has been doomed by the narrative twice now. First, to become disabled and so have to give up on being a warrior and instead become a medicine cat. Now also to die saving her friend.
Yeah.
Oh, and she spends this whole book being really worried that Leafpool is going to leave, and she can't say it's because I'm about to die and the clan is going to need a medicine cat. I love Cinderpelt.
So I do too. She's great.
I love her.
I think she's one of my favorites.
She's got to be one of my all-time faves for real. I love her so much.
Yeah.
Fly high, queen. Blows a kiss to the stars. Blows a kiss to Silverpelt for Cinderpelt.
For Cinderpelt.
Do you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, or any of them about Cinderpelt? What do you think about Cinderpelt? Why don't you write and tell us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws, as in what a cat has, claws, as in the part of speech, pod, as in podcast. We are also on Twitter and Blue Sky at Paws and Claws, and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. And if you're 18 years or older, you can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. We are brought to you by the TWG Podcast Network, which you can find at theworstgarbage.online, and you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, or Blue Sky at HumbleGoat, and you can see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at plot_twists, on Blue Sky at plot-twists, or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss the New Prophecy Book 6, Sunset. Read along by buying the book from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.
TWG, the worst garbage.